Here we go.
What up, what up, what up? This is Star
No
Rock, and I'm with my
time.
co-host Malika Jules. You are tuned into Smart Girl Dumb World. We fixed the opening credits, y'all.
Woo, woo.
Hey,
No
yay.
typo.
I know. So what's been going on, girl? We got
Um,
a mouthful to say
so
today.
like I need to jump right into it, I guess, because we're on YouTube now, and this is our 8th episode. What? It's my job to tell you
No,
to
this is
like
episode
it.
9. This
Oh,
is
episode 9.
9.
Oh my god, so many
Yeah.
episodes. I can't keep up.
I shared it. I thought it was 8 for a hot second, and I shared it with my neighbor, and I was like, "Oh shit, we're actually on episode 9 today." So I shared
Episode
episode 8 with her.
9. Yes,
That's a
episode
big deal for us, okay?
big deal because once again we're showing up, we're bucking up against Black girl perfectionism. You know what
hmm
I'm saying? And we're just out here, sharing our ideas with what's going on in the world. We grew up gifted and talented education. We was told to be smart just to graduate into a world that's dumb and it's crazy.
hmm
And like I gotta say, I would love to stop talking about Diddy. I would love for that to be over. But the diddler just keeps getting crazy. All
I
right.
definitely want to hear your perspective, hot Miss Howard woman, like, because I know he's a legend over there for better or for worse.
Honey, I want to just get it straight that Diddy is legendary only as being a dropout. Like, I just need
Wow.
people to understand, like, when I was at Howard, which was a little while ago, it's like Diddy, like people respected him for what he did in the music industry, but amongst Howard folks and Howard alum, we see him as somebody who is not one of us. Like
hmm
he wasn't even there for like a full year or 2 years. Like, so Diddy has never been looked upon as a Howard grad because he is not. Diddy, like many people, went to Howard for a hot second and it wasn't right for them and they left, right? Now, in the newest paperwork file, I mean, there's so much that's coming out about him. And they talk about, it's the Rolling Stone interview where they just chronicle this man's whole career of just abuse.
Yeah.
And they mention that he beat a girl at the quad. Okay, so just for those of y'all that did not go to Howard, I want to break down to you the dorm room or the dorm. Okay, when you're a freshman girl at Howard, there's a set of 5 dorms. It's called the Harriet Tubman Quadrangle. That's the real name. We call it the Quad, okay? The Quad is 5 buildings named after like very important Black American women. All right. When I heard, and the quad is sacred because the quad has been there. It's like one of those things when you're at a historically Black school, the
hmm
quad been there for generations. So you get to hear the stories about all the different people that lived in your dorm and so many stories about what happened to the quad. Like the quad is like sacred space, sacred ground on Howard's campus. Girl, when I heard
Every
that
HBCU has that. So as an HBCU grad, I definitely understand that. We all
every
have those sacred spaces.
HBCU
Yeah.
has their sacred spaces, their historical spaces. Honey, when I heard that the Diddler beat a woman in the quad,
A women's dorm.
you got to understand, like the quad is a place where you can't even have boys spend the night, like visitations over at 9. Like the quad is a woman's space. And it's a woman's space so that young girls, when they're leaving home, they can feel safe.
Named after ancestors, right?
Yes, I mean, there's Wheatley Hall. I can't remember. Like, I lived in Crandall Hall. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like female
I know
ancestral.
you mentioned Phyllis Wheatley. Like you
Phyllis
said Wheatley
Wheatley,
earlier, right? Yeah.
Wheatley.
Wow. Yeah.
Baldwin. Like, I can't remember the names of the dorms off the top. I know that I lived in Crandall Hall, and I'll be honest with you right now at this moment, I don't remember who Crandall was. You know what I'm saying? That's how old
but
it
we
is.
know.
That's how old the building is. Is like
Yeah.
he was popping when that building was named. Okay.
Yeah.
Crandall, you feel me? And as a young Black girl living in DC, 3,000 miles away from home, the
hmm
quad is where I could go to feel safe. So like when I heard he beat a bitch, and can I say that on YouTube? Did I don't even
You
want
know,
to.
I don't know how YouTube gets down.
And I don't even want to say, excuse my honesty coming through in that crassness.
Yeah.
But
No,
I
I
don't
get
want to
it.
talk about domestic abuse in that way. But like,
That's the mind of an
it's
abuser, though.
crass,
He beat
right?
a bitch.
It's crass. I can't make it pretty. And no, it's never okay to beat anybody anywhere. But what I'm saying is, it take a special kind of somebody to beat you down in the quad.
In a dorm.
In
Sheesh.
the dorm.
And like, you know how much of an audience that is?
Everybody sees you. Oh yeah, and the way the quad is that in the middle, those 5 dorms are connected, and in the middle there's a courtyard. So if something goes down in the courtyard, everybody sees it.
Jeez.
I've been walking through the courtyard in the quad, and sometimes a girl would have her window open when she was doing something scandalous, and it's like everybody sees. It's more of a safety mechanism, but it's also will put you on blast. So
yeah,
for me, it's like there's these little things about the Diddy case that show me just a much more sinister person bubbling underneath. Like when I watched him heinously abuse Cassie in that hallway in a towel with
and that towel did not fall, means he was a pro at that.
With one hand, I was like, this is light work for this man right now. You know what I mean? So it's like there's just a lot of sinister, and once again, it's like ultimately all these men that are coming out, we could look at their lyrics and their music and see that they never respected women. And the elders were trying to tell us that when the music was coming out.
And what did we say? Y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
And nobody will ever believe, older Black women when we speak. We didn't listen to the, but at least somebody had told you, is all I'm saying. And people, enjoy what he does, enjoy his music, do whatever. But just like, I think that it's unfortunate what's happened with Black entertainment, because our entertainment at one point was our democracy and our power. And obviously that was noted by the powers that be, and everybody that got put in there has been destructive, and it's been destructive for the last 25, 30 years. And pretty it's really sad.
Since the money got involved, it just became a tool of capitalist bullshit. And all of this is connected.
And it's so funny how capitalism and that how misogyny and the patriarchy and the abuse of women seem to ride with it hand in hand. So for me, between that abuse that I saw, that casual abuse of Cassie, throwing her around like that in a towel, between that and knowing that he just had like beat a girl at Howard. I mean, you couldn't tell me. Great. You could tell me anything about. You could tell me that Diddy. You could tell me that Diddy did it, and when it comes to all of Tupac, Biggie.
I mean,
I would believe that this man has murdered everybody at this point.
Blowing up somebody's car is wild. And if you could do that, then
he's giving sinister music industry guy.
The lady said he shot her in the face. She been said that since back when that case was popping. She been said that he shot her in the face.
And why did he shoot that? Like, why did he shoot that woman? Did she say something?
I don't even remember. I feel like it was like, I don't even know if she was the intended target. I feel like it was that, like, whatever scuffle broke out, like she wasn't even the intended target.
It's crazy.
And she just ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time, as did Shine. Ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time and took the fall for it, allegedly. But I mean, even Shine has stated this. So these billionaires be in with the politicians and the law. So and he wasn't a billionaire then, to be fair, but still he was a man with power and money. He still had millions, was on his way.
Yeah, it's like, I guess we just have to watch this space and see, because of course then now Kanye's assistant is suing with all her allegations of like just like major sex talk in the DMs, and like, I mean,
and Kanye is a man with he's a sexual deviant. There's no way around it. Right. Like the porn addiction and the stuff that's coming out in this suit.
I'm just so happy that no Black women were harmed. You know what I'm saying? Because it, like, once again, like, I don't know why.
Hopefully, because remember when he first came out, he pretended that he liked Black women.
let's give him his credit. He said that his D is racist.
True.
That his D, what he wants to say is my D don't like black women.
True.
I want to say to Kanye's D, thank you. Thank you for not rising for us. Thank you for like rising for other girls that have the legal that have the legal power to do things that I couldn't do. Like, I'm so happy that he's attracted to the same thing that could take him down. You know what I mean? Because it's like I would just have to take it. But you know, these girls are taking him down. They're gonna take all his money.
It's giving Bernadine from Waiting to Exhale. A
Yes.
white woman can have your sorry.
Hey. She sure can. You want to deal with all of that? It's like, you know, once again, it's like then Kim Kardashian put out a post, and maybe, I don't know if this is fake news or not. I was scrolling, and it's like Kim Kardashian says, it's so hard being a single mom of 4. And I'm like, did you not want a very particular Black female experience, Kim? You laid it all down. Like, I could have told you that crazy dude from Chicago was just for you to, you know, he wasn't for you to marry. That was your jump off.
And it's not like the signs weren't there. They were there. They were there.
You decided not to see them.
You're getting what you got.
Because maybe you wanted some mixed babies. They're very cute. You know, maybe you wanted access to celebrity, which you got. You know, maybe you wanted the cosign of hip hop culture. You know, you got those things. So yes, sis, you're a single mom now. I mean, I don't wish that on anybody, but I think that the voyeuristic and
she's a single mom with a team
obsession with Black people is strange. And sometimes you have to like curb your manifestation, sis. Like, you could like Black people, but don't necessarily invite there's not aspects of Black culture are not always good. And the aspects of Black culture that are aspects of American culture,
the stereotypical, yeah.
Right? Like single motherhood is a very American thing. Well, now it's global, right? You pin it on us, but really I have friends of all cultures that have deadbeat dads. Okay. Mm-hmm. I have Black friends that have great dads. So it's like, but when you're going for the voyeuristic ideal of what you think Blackness is,
AKA the stereotype,
you end up, it's like she almost manifested it on accident. Like, I mean, I wanted the butt and the lips and the man, but I didn't know I'd end up a single mother.
Yep.
You ordered that package.
Yep. And ultimately, she'll be fine. She has a team and nannies.
She'll be fine because she's not a Black woman. She's not a Black woman. She's not a Black woman. She's got a team. Them kids got 3 nannies each, and she's still tired. And the reason why she's tired, and I know people, mixed kids aren't Black. Well, them kids they look like they act hella Black. It's like a bunch of nigglets just giving her problems. And she's why are the white kids so well behaved? There's something going on in there genetically. If you don't have a Black grandma or a Black auntie,
they're half Kanye, so
they're half.
You're gonna get what you got,
and you have no Donda. There's no Donda there to check them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, once again, you're negating the power and you're negating what Black women bring. So it's like, they ain't got no Black grandma. They ain't got no Black auntie. They know that you all fetishize Blackness. If they're smart, they got you in the pocket already, and they are running around your house like the worst little pickaninnies, whatever they call Black children, like little whatever. They're so confused. It's like you don't even have. It's like I would recommend. Like, I understand that the Kardashians are really all about a look. Like, you have to have the look, right? But like, break that, get you a big, fat, Black, gap tooth, not me, bitch, another one, girl or woman to come in there and lay down the law for these kids. Is the only way it's gonna work. I'm not for hire or for sale, so you can't have me. I'm not. I hate you. I don't want you. But I'm just saying, like, there's a reason that woman was in every white household.
Mm-hmm.
America could still own Black people.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, our household doesn't seem to work unless we have a mammy. Where's your mammy, sis? Because once again, back in the day, whites knew that they needed one of those.
Yeah.
That's why they put her on a syrup box and a pancake box. They were like, we can't live without her. So it's like, stop acting like you don't need somebody is what I'm trying to say. Like, I understand if you're Kanye and your member only gets hard for a certain race, then that's fine. Go knock that out. But your children being raised, bro, I hate to say it, but it's like, mom's is a sex worker. she'll probably raise more sex workers.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like Beyonce's a superstar. She'll probably raise more superstars. And it's sometimes maybe it's just that simple.
I don't even know what to say. This is hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like I don't know what they're expecting. It's like you signed up for that. Look, and my
That's
thing
what
is,
I'm saying. You get what you get.
and any woman who is dealing with a black man who says his D is racist, watch out for your kids that you have with that man.
Especially if your kids look more black than the standard mixed look that everyone thinks is the only way that mixed kids can look.
Right.
That's gonna be a problem too.
It's like the layers of self-hate. I feel bad for any woman who brings that into her life when she ain't have to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you didn't have to. You could have just had a nice, peaceful life. Look at the little Kardashian. What's her name? The Courtney.
Courtney. Mm-hmm.
Just peaceful.
Courtney's hilarious though. She definitely be telling them where to go.
Courtney's like, I don't know why it's so ghetto in here, but I see what that says. What? I mean, I wouldn't date him. Oh my God, you're gonna have his baby? He'd be like a baby mama. I mean, look, black women, we make everything look good, including the struggle. And
to be clear, Courtney's a baby mama too. Well,
she's a baby mama, but
Travis did marry each other.
No. Anyway. No. Courtney's the one who you've never seen with a black man.
True. She did. She hasn't.
You ain't never seen her in no drama.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
Scott Disick was crazy, but he wasn't no crazy ninja. You feel me? Like,
right.
That's why at this age, at my big age, I be wondering why you choosing ninja stuff. Like, I don't choose ninja stuff, and I'm a ninja.
Dysfunction. Yeah,
I'm a ninja. Yeah. Like, I'm a ninja. I don't choose ninja stuff. I don't deal with ninjas. Like, I don't want to be, but it's always crazy to me. What is it about black women that's so magical where you'd be like, single motherhood couldn't be that bad. And maybe that racist D is for me. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't want none of it. Is all I'm saying. I don't want none of it. And you know who else doesn't want anything for black women is Edward Blum.
Which fuck Edward Blum as a staff, a record label, and a motherfucking crew. Him and his think tank is a conservative think tank that basically, like, their thing is going around suing different. They've sued law firms. They've sued the Fearless Fund, which we're going to talk about. They've sued any kind of program that they see as creating equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion. You know, the shit that they hate, right? And so most recently, the women of the Fearless Fund were told that they cannot continue their privately run and funded grant program that gives out business grants to Black women. Black women make up 8% of the U.S. population, and only 0.00006% of businesses that are funded. Yet, Black women are also one of the highest founded groups of entrepreneurs in this country. And Edward Blum, this motherfucker, decided to sue. And they've been going through it since like last year. So like the first round, that judge in that round said that the Fearless Fund can continue. But remember, that particular judge was like, I think he was like a liberal leaning Black man judge. So then Edward Blum and them were like, all right, fine, we're going to step this up to the next level of court. That level of judges, Trump appointed judges, decided, you know what, this is reverse racism, and they can't do their funding. So then they decided to take it up to, I believe, the 11th Circuit Court. I don't know all the court levels, but this particular court, I believe, is the highest level of court in Georgia where they are based. This court said, yeah, this is actually racist, which it's not. They're basically co-opting the language of the civil rights movement that has been created to protect Black people from things like Jim Crow and the Black codes and all these laws that have existed to try to destroy us, right? And so they're co-opting and intentionally misinterpreting these laws to try to say that reverse racism does exist and that they have to open up their funding to everyone. Now, Edward Blum has been quoted as saying that he doesn't even believe that racism exists. You see what I'm saying? This like gaslightly bullshit. Like
he's like, I'm the most racist man. The most that's like literally what every racist person. They're like, what racism? It's like,
right.
You can't smell your own funk. You can't smell how funky you are. What stink?
Exactly.
You stink.
Exactly. And this is the same man that dismantled affirmative action. And what's so wicked, I mean, there's a lot of wicked things about this, right? He's Jewish. That's number one. One of his cohorts is Stephen Miller, a man who was actively anti-Jewish, right? And who has a foundation, a scholarship for white men. So that's not racist. But when it comes to Black women, y'all can't have shit, right? No. And the fact that there's even, the man is a billionaire. So you have all this money for lawsuits, which costs a hell of a lot of money. Like lawsuits are fucking expensive. I don't know if people understand that. I have had to sue somebody. It is a lot of money. Like I had to go into savings for this. And the fact that I even had the money was amazing, a blessing, but it kind of took a lot out of us, right? And that's why I was like, oh shit, like people think it's so easy to sue. It's not. So what I'm saying is you have all this money, all these billions to pursue these lawsuits instead of, why don't you just go busy yourself and create a fucking, I don't know, you do your own business and venture capital that then gives money to everyone. If it's
it's like, that's why for me, it's the ultimate tell. His actions for me are the ultimate tell that Black women are truly powerful, amazing creative forces that are to be reckoned with. Because technically, like with all your money and your power and your access, you shouldn't really even care what these little 8% little ladies that don't get. But the fact that you're focused so heavily on me, I must be the goddess, honey. I must be. You must know something about me that I don't know, darling. There must be something very threatening, darling, because you want to stop me, even though you have billions. You want to stop me from getting a $5,000 microloan. Like, you're crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it don't even be. I think and when the details started coming out about the case, first of all, giving your money is actually considered a form of free speech. Second of all, I think they had like $20,000 in the pot. That's it. Like, it wasn't even like some crazy, figure. And then, I mean, they said that they're going to keep, they meaning the people behind the fund. I think it's a woman named Ariane Simone. I know of her because I remember before she got into this lane, she used to be a publicist in the entertainment industry. So I know of her. I think Keisha Knight Pulliam is one of the women involved in the Fearless Fund. And there's another woman, I can't think of her name right now, but she's an entrepreneur who runs a successful business with her husband. And like entrepreneurship is kind of what opened her eyes to the lack of funding and all that stuff. And let me just say, women, period, I think make up like less than 3% of the people that get funded. And then again, out of that, if it's only like 0.06% of Black women, like we are we that much of a threat? Sorry.
We are, because let me tell you, everybody that's not a Black woman would love to see a Black woman get less.
For nothing.
You know what I'm saying? They would love it. So that's like all y'all are doing is giving me more confidence. Like, because I'm like, y'all could really leave me alone, but you stay looking over here. Like, it must be gorgeous over here.
I keep saying we're a hydra. Cut one head off and 3 more grow. So the Fearless Fund, they've spoken on it, not much. I know that because this is in litigation, probably. I mean, if they take it up to the Supreme Court, I mean, we already know who the judges there are, and those judges, they think it's okay to discriminate against LGBTQ. But once you get into the realm of white men can't have anything, oh no. So obviously, this is a case that they're probably going to be biased against, right? But I just hope some beautiful things come out of whatever this fight is going to be for them. Like, because I saw a quote somewhere where Ariane or somebody from the Fearless Fund was saying, now it's time for other politicians to like really step in and speak up about this and speak against this, because this is some nasty work that this man is doing, and he's quite successful. And some of these judges got to go. Judges have consequences, right? Like, I think a lot of these judges get in these positions and they think they can't be touched because because of the permanence of it, right? It's very hard to get a judge out, as we now see and are paying attention to. And a lot of these courts are conservative appointed courts who don't really believe in they don't believe in DEI, and they're delusional about, racism doesn't exist, and they don't know their history, right? Like, they don't, or they're willfully ignorant about it. Like, they don't want us to have shit. They paint these narratives that this is some crazy liberalism and racism's not real. They want to paint that narrative. That's what they want to run with. So I don't know. I hope I know they're going to keep up the good fight. There's other people who have been sued by Edward Blum that decided to drop the suit. Like there've been law firms who were like, okay, fine, we're going to open it up to everyone. I'm a fighter, so I'm just like, I want to hear more about what the Fearless Fund plans to do to combat this. I'm petty. If I was a billionaire, I would see this happening and I'll be like, you know what? So what else does Mr. Blum have going on in his situation? Now we're going to sue these people that have this scholarship fund for Jewish folks. Now we're going to sue these people that have this scholarship for white men, because you got to show the ridiculousness of it.
Well, that's his point. His point is to set precedent, right? His point is to set precedent so that these things can be taken out more easily. So once again, you go for Black women because we're unprotected. We're the smallest number. Nobody cares about what happens to us, right? Nobody cares about what's happened to the Fearless Fund. But now, who's that really going to go after? My Latino friends, I'm looking at y'all. You know, all the things that are, you know, you saw how they killed the DREAM Act, right? It's like all the things, like, please don't think it's just going to stop here. This is where it starts.
It's not. They come for one, they're going to come for everybody.
We came with the ops. We always get the first round, but I just would like everybody to know that they are not exempt. He's doing this to set precedent. And, you know, they're going to roll back all the civil rights stuff, you know, and at this point, go ahead and roll it back. I don't want nothing from y'all. Roll it all back. Take it all. Where's the judge? Who can we take it to right now? We could just roll it all back. Let's start back at 1940 today and see how everybody does.
Yep.
Let's see how everybody does.
It's sad. People got to learn the hard way.
Yeah, let's roll it all back. Let's roll it all back. You know what I'm saying? Because the reality is the America that people are yearning for was trash. And nobody wants to say that. The food at the lunch counters that my people were chomping at the bit to get to, the fucking food was trash.
Did you see that clip? There was a man that was what? There was a man. He said he finally got to taste the food. He's like, "This is what we were fighting for."
You got to love who you are and where you at, baby. You got to love who you are and where you at. I love, like,
they just would burn our shit down, right? We had our own towns. Here they come. And that's what this Edward Blum is doing. That's a metaphorical burning of the towns.
Yep.
And we don't want you to have anything.
And they'll let it happen to Blacks, and then it will become law, and it'll be applied to everybody else, and then it will be too late. And then those same people will come running back to the Black people saying, "What should we do?" And
I don't know. I don't know.
Start a business.
And I love that that's kind of starting to happen. Like, we're seeing all this stuff that, like, we've been warning y'all. We've been telling y'all this type of stuff is going to happen.
My grandmother told me this. I will never forget. My grandmother told me this. She saw me and my cousins playing out in the backyard so free. She pulled us to the side. She said, "I see y'all out here free. It's beautiful. But I want to let y'all know it hasn't always been like this." And she said, "I need y'all to know that it's like this now because laws change." And she says, laws can change and go back. And I need y'all to know that. And we said, "Grandma, what are you talking about?" Now I know what she's talking about.
Because the voting rights guy got gutted partially because of the work that Bloom's been doing. I hope he dies a painful death.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's going to get what's coming to him for sure. Whatever that might be. Maybe he's doing the Lord's work. I don't know. I have
doing the devil's work.
Clearly, right? Clearly, like, it's like. But all I know is that what happens to me as a Black person in America, it ends up being the blueprint for America. You know, it's like when I look at how America, what's real, like the drug crisis in America right now that no one's talking about.
It's bad. Yeah.
But when it was me, not me personally, but when it was Black women,
our people, in the 80s, came up in that,
crack, you know, it's like we were just demonized as a people, stereotyped. But now it's like that's happening to everybody. And there's nothing. And my thing is, there's nothing. There's no reins on it because nobody wants to even admit that it exists because that's for those people. So whoever hates America, like, and is pulling the strings right now,
China,
right? They're doing a great job. Like, I want to, just commend them for their, because it's like clearly you saw what could be exploited. You saw how easy it is to divide the people, divide them by race. It's like Americans are Americans.
And it's a nation that does business with the US. And that's all this country, this government cares about money. So they'll overlook all the messed up stuff that's happening in the interest of money. Look, the freaking Saudi Arabia, they purchased the whole freaking golf league,
right?
giving some of their F shit, right?
Yep.
Woo.
So we have to know that that's where we live. And America, the reality is, once America became integrated, it lost its personality, and then it lost its unity. And now it's been up for sale ever since. And now
Obama set all that off. That psychosis that comes with when you see a Black person succeeding.
Well, that's why everything. They're like, wait, what gave us Black greatness? No funds for Black people. What gave us Oprah? No TV shows. It's like, we still gonna be Black and great. That's why y'all brought us here in the first place. Let's not forget, why are Black Americans here in the first place? How do Black Americans get here? Handpicked from the continent for their particular skill.
An idea that was even copied. That's the crazy part. That's the real crazy part. It wasn't even their original idea. They copied it from the system that was already going on in Africa. And not to say that it was right. But it was different. You know what I mean? It was
right, but Africa didn't know about chattel slavery and
that's what I'm saying. And people there who were slaves tended to be people who they weren't going to be that forever. It was like paying off debts and prisoners of war, and it just wasn't
the Europeans
the same thing.
Surprise, surprise.
They sure did. We're
gonna make it so evil, and sure Africa was like, huh, what? And it's like Africa's still on its knees. Because what happens when you, for centuries, you exported your greatest minds. So America's built up and Africa's still
being exploited. A lot of those presidents are puppets. Oh, this is the deep rabbit hole. This is the deep rabbit hole that
deep rabbit hole. We're gonna go back to Diddy real quick. I just want to say that so being that what he did, Howard definitely revoked his honorary degree and his $1 million that he gave. And I'm definitely here to say, yay, we don't want your dirty money. We do not want your dirty Diddy money. We do not want your dirty Diddy party. Used to be a white party, now it's a dirty Diddy party. Okay. Oof. We don't want your dirty Diddy millions. We don't want nothing to do with somebody as heinous as you, who've been heinous the whole time, who's also been, once again, let's not act like all these men push anti-Blackness. Let's not act like their music, it's like, let me just slip in a little light skin. It's like, yo.
Make a song about a señorita.
You always want to let me know that I ain't nothing. You always want to let me know that. This is where we get to misogynoir, right? Because it's like, you got the Bloom idiot who just wants me to have nothing. Then you have a Diddy or a Kanye who just always wants to let me know.
Or the Dream, because he was another one. A lawsuit came out.
You always let me know that I'm too dark, I'm too this, I'm too that. So we getting it this, which is why I be so happy when they don't want to talk to me. Because it's like, I'm so over the patriarchal pandering. I'm so over the racist penile, which thank God, once again, I love your racist peen. Keep it away from me, honey. Because your racist peen is all up in a lawsuit being nasty.
And I hope that, because sometimes I do feel like, we're 80s babies, so we were sold bad guys never win. Yes, the fuck they do. They prosper, and they have been prospering. And sometimes it still feels like they're just constantly winning. But I'm hoping, when you see stuff like this, like the lawsuits and the degrees being revoked and the financial ties cut, hopefully this is a sign that this is starting to become, what do they call it? The age of Aquarius, right? Where things get revealed and karma starts to come back around. Hopefully we're really moving into that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't have faith in what's going to happen after this election.
Because Diddy ain't got no, Diddy's still chilling in whatever Balian resort or.
He's made enough money for a lifetime, please.
He's lived enough lifetimes. It's like same thing with Donald Trump. It's like, no, it's like we live in a society where bad guys win. And once again, bad guys have always won. That's how we exist as a country. America's existence is a bad guy winning. So when we say that we want something else, it's like, when have we ever seen good win in America? Now in the 80s, it was very important, I think, that they told us to be good because we were the children of civil rights, right? So it was like, well, be good. And it's like, oh yeah, we could be good. The world could be a great place. I really used to
Be
really
smart, be good, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. I
now
did
I'm like,
too.
I'm gonna be stupid and bad, and I'm not wearing
Bare
bootstraps.
minimum.
I'm wearing red bottoms, I'm wearing bloody shoes, and I'm stomping all around with no couth. I'm
Bare minimum
unhinged.
AF. And
Yeah.
even our bare minimum was still going to be great because we've gotten that perfectionism so
Exactly.
drilled into
My bare minimum is
that
whooping
high achieving.
whooping the Ivy Leaguers all day. How'd you come up with that? The weirdest question anybody, like, how did I come up? Like, I don't even
Like, I
understand.
don't know, my brain. Like, what?
Yeah, like I
Like,
don't
what did you
understand.
say?
How did you come up with that? How did you come up with
I think.
right? I looked and analyzed something. I assessed the situation. I used my common sense. How did you come up with that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if privilege has got people so weak they can't think.
It does. It has.
Like
That's why whenever it seems like a group of a inferior position starts to rise up, they panic and do all this stuff. That goes for when it's women, because you see the stuff the stuff that's happening with women. Some of these politicians are openly saying they want to revoke women's right to vote. They're already trying to revoke reproductive rights. It's the same thing. It's always that, like, whenever a group, an inferior group, or a group that's perceived as inferior, that's been set up that way systematically, when we start to fight back, then they start to panic because equality is not seen as the goal.
Well, because the privilege makes you lazy. The privilege makes the muscles atrophy. Like with the privilege, you don't have to have any good ideas. You don't have to be brilliant. You just have to show up. And I think generations of that got people lazy and stupid. And then when you look at Black people that have kind of always had to think and work and be 10 steps ahead, it's like, hey, what is that? It's like, well, I still have to work for stuff. You just have to show up. And my thing is, why don't you just stay in your show up lane and leave me alone? But for some reason, you're in your show up lane and you keep looking over in my lane, wondering how. I don't know. Would you like me to give you some hardships? I can throw some wrenches your way. Let's just go ahead and knock everybody's credit score down 200 points.
Right.
Let's do that. Let's give you less access to capital for your business. I'll give you those two. Those are easy. Go out and be great. But you wouldn't even be able to get out of bed because you wouldn't even know how to have a day job to fund your business. Something that Black women have to do. You can't even imagine that. You use my own money? Whoop. Oh. You know,
shout out to Sassy Jones. That's one business. We were friends in college, but Sassy Jones, accessories business, she's funded herself. Now she's like worth millions, multi-millions of dollars. That's amazing to me.
That's how we have to do it in America. That's what I just want Black people to like. What I want Black people to know going forward is it's 1930, it's 1940.
That's how you gotta act. Yeah.
Don't ask these people for anything. These people don't like you, babe. They don't want you to win. If they could have it their way right now, we'd all be lined up and quartered and burned. And it's like, and I understand that we got maybe a 30-year break of imagining that, and we got a little break of hoping that would be different. But no, they're really doubling down on it. So it's like, well, I'm going to live here because I definitely don't want to live anywhere else. But I know where I'm at. I know where I'm at. I'm not going to ask you. Because ultimately, I am where I've always been. And what I'm saying is, we can survive. We can make it. And we don't.
Because we're already surviving. Like it's already like very much like still an uphill battle. Like there is no rest for the weary, right? So like there's always moments of greatness where like, oh, you're doing good financially. Yay, finally. And then something happens, a layoff or just something. And then it's like, well, back to the grind again. Here we go.
I just want to say to my Black women and my Black people and my Black entrepreneurs, don't be discouraged by any of this bullshit. That's all I'm saying. Don't. Just know that the reason they're coming after you is the same reason that they came after you. It's because of your brilliance. It's because you have something that they ain't got. If we had the same thing, then we'd be collaborating. But I clearly got something you ain't got, and you're threatened. You're threatened at a micro grant, and you're a billionaire. Wow. Like you're kind of like
you literally could have founded, like if it bothers you so much, you could have found, I don't know, find some white women and and fund them, right? Find some Asian women or Hispanic women, whatever. Like
you don't want to fund them either.
That's the thing.
He's like, no,
that's the realty. They don't want any women to have any funding. That's the realty.
But once again, right now it's being looked at as an isolated incident with Black women. And so all the other women, and the thing is, all those other women that probably get money from people who are also right wing, they're going to keep it closed. So when they end up, you know, in The Handmaid's Tale, and I'm in my little free Black place that nobody comes to because all their opinions are racist, I'll be just fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be like, dang, sis, that's crazy. Know where you at. Don't ask these people for anything. I was just thinking, it's just the way of America. It's like, I was thinking about here in California, the whole plastic bag, which is.
Yeah.
So it's like, why did we even get plastic bags? We got plastic bags because y'all were tearing down forests, right? To make paper bags. Tearing down forests is awful. But you know what's worse than tearing down forests? Plastic.
And now it's literally suffocating us. And it's all the
in
chemicals, it's in everybody's body, it's all in the ocean.
When are we going to understand? Like, you can't ask these people for anything because there's a hatred and a lack of humanity that's so deep that by virtue of you asking, they go, I must make this worse. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't need to chop down trees? Let me give you this toxic chemical that's going to poison the whole society.
But it'll save money though. Or it'll make more money, whatever the goal.
You're going to wish we chop down trees now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, when you're dealing with that type of bully, you got to just recognize that that's the type of bully you're dealing with, like a narcissist. Mm-hmm. You can't, so you have to move differently. Like Black people.
And you have to beat them at their own game. It doesn't mean that you have to.
What I would say to Black people, feel free to move in silence.
Yeah, let me not say beat them at their own game. You have to be strategic. You have to beat them. You have to fight back, but strategic.
To not be on the internet. The internet is not mandatory. You know, once again, when I was in the late 90s studying up on the future, and the whole purpose of the internet was to thwart all revolts,
and that's what it's doing. People are we're getting all this information and
I'm watching this happen, and I'm like, you don't have to be on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to remind people, you don't have to. There's a school here. It's a very pro-Black elementary. And they do a beautiful show every year, talent show. You can tell the teachers put a lot into the students rehearsing. Mm-hmm. And a friend of mine went and she was showing me on her phone the beautiful performances of the kids. And I said to myself, I hope this never makes it online. Hope it never makes it online. It was so beautiful, right? Well, somebody went and put it up on TikTok.
Of course.
Right? I guarantee you that school will be a wrap in 5 years.
That's the thing. Like, this is such a talent ass culture. Like, I've been seeing people, oh, this is the hottest new restaurant in Flatbush, or this is the hottest new. Can we have anything? Like, no. Damn, you don't have to tell everything.
Like, we're dealing with a generation, no, and the generation is cross generational. But I'm talking about the way that it's affected people, where they feel the need to tell the corporation everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They can't, it's not enough to have it yourself, because your mind, I could be an influencer. No, it's not going to happen for you. Like, just because you're posting this thing, but at the mere idea that maybe I could blow up, now you're sharing all this information.
Right.
So literal spies. Let's just cut to it, right? Literal, like TikTok is a spy, the internet is a spy. So it's like, I just want people, and I know they never will, because I know they love the internet too much, but it's like, calm the fuck down with this internet bullshit. Does everything have to be posted? For me, doing this podcast is a lot. I don't necessarily want to share my opinions with people because they might be controversial. But even I'm like, well, I should utilize it, right? But I'm also like, am I incriminating myself?
Right. Everything don't have to be online. Exactly. I think about those things too.
Am I going to say everything I really feel about all these topics? No. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand that ultimately I live in a society that, as much as they like to tout being free and freedom of speech, they don't want none of that for you. They want that for themselves.
And now you have people who will lurk and watch and purposely try to take your words out of context to try to hurt you, right? Like contact your employer or like try to make you out to be something that you're not. And that causes more drama.
That's what I want. Look, I hope that AI takes over social media to where we don't even see real people on there anymore. The real people could just be living their normal ass lives and
Well, we
having
gotta learn the
AI.
hard way.
Yeah, it's devouring our morality. I will
Mm-hmm.
never forget years ago when I was married. Okay, when I was married, and I love being a wife. One of the things I loved about being a wife, domesticated wife, was like making my home beautiful. Right.
Mm.
I was really into that. Really, really into it. Raised by Southern women, you know, very much into like traditional domestic life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still like that, but the man has to equally be traditional.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Happy
Mm-hmm.
that, right? But there was a couple that came over to visit us, and this is 2012, 2013. And the girl just takes her phone out. She just starts filming my house.
Oh, without even asking.
I
Hell
was
no.
so I was so annoyed. I was offended. And the audacity, because I'm like, and I said to her, "Can you please stop? Like, can you not film in my
Yeah.
house?" Oh, I'm sorry. Everything just looks so pretty. Okay, but this is my private home. You didn't even ask me. You just felt just because your eyes saw it that you could video it and then
Yeah.
it's like, and that's how most people feel now. They're like, oh, I can just do. It's
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Or even when you see clips
Privacy.
of people like they'll film someone like to try to clown them, like, oh, look at her pants, or why is she wearing that? And like, yo, that shit is weird. Filming people without their consent.
It's weird.
The only time you should think it's okay to film someone is if they're actually performing, right?
Right.
Like if they're out in the street performing, obviously they're trying to get attention. Or if they're doing
Yeah.
something stupid, they're probably trying to get attention. But like someone minding their business, like I don't know what the thought process is. But even going back to like just coming into your home, your sacred space, like that,
Their
that's
thought
crazy.
process is always, I want to get likes. I want to get this will get me noticed.
That's
It's like
insane.
it's like you're working for Mark Zuckerberg, by the way, which I'm like, okay, social media, aka slavery, like y'all are selling my information.
Mm-hmm.
Now you want me to upload content 3 to 5 times a day, and I'm not getting paid yet.
And
Whoa,
they're making it, social media is making it now. Once they've caught on to the fact that influencers are making so much money, they're making it now so that the money gets diverted to them, right? Like they're the ones that have the connections with the advertising and the brands, and they make sure that their stuff gets the visibility. And the algorithm is it's wicked. It's
it's
a whole
wicked.
system of wickedness.
It's wicked, and of course it is. Why would it be anything else?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's why I'm getting back to like basic internet. Like I'm like emails and websites, emails and
Mm-hmm.
websites, because social media, I mean, even my Instagram, it's like every time I post, they're like, I have a strong 1,000 followers. Of my strong 1,000, which I remove all bots, I don't deal with these bots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's like they'll be like, you're supposed to be 200 people.
Right.
And I'm like,
Same.
so why would I give my all to an app where people don't even see all my thing when I know that if I send an email out,
Right.
every single person is at least going to see the subject line.
Right.
But
Right.
you're not even showing it to me. So now I'm giving you all this for free, and I'm supposed to go hard. I'm supposed to try to go viral with you. Who are you, sir?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, who are you really? And then it's like, then it goes back to like my 1980s upbringing where it's like, China and Russia, what were? Like there's an old white man in the southern state that would say it for me. Those are
Mm-hmm.
our enemies. Like it's like there's a certain amount of Americanness that wasn't dealing with y'all. And somewhere now, that's how I know it's all purchased. Because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
how did we forget this?
Bought and paid for.
How did we forget this? But once again, that's what happens when you participate in chattel slavery for over 200 years.
And then
So
try to act like it never happened.
right, like ultimately, I'm like this with it, right? Because it's like I'm looking at who I'm like, well, you did enslave the Africans. You did pillage the Native Americans. So I don't know what's due to us as a nation, but I wouldn't, whatever it is, I'm not surprised.
I
And
haven't heard like some history of like why our healthcare system is so jacked up. Now I heard this. I can't remember where I got this information from, but it sounds like it tracks. I would say I'll look it up for more specifics. But so you know how like healthcare for a long time was tied to, and in some ways still is tied to you having a job, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to have a job in order to get healthcare. So somebody said that was because, remember, like during like the Jim Crow era, anything post Reconstruction, they were trying to actively make sure Black people couldn't participate in society, right? So they were trying to keep Black people from having the jobs, right? The good jobs, the jobs that would give you healthcare. And I heard that was the reason. Like that's why those jobs were tied to healthcare, because they just wanted to be exclusionary, which is it's not unbelievable, but it's wild.
It's the nature. It's just the nature of the beast. It's like, well, of course,
and people still vote for that.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, because the American dream is white supremacy. The American dream is, it's like the American dream is them over there and me. Look at me, look, and so that's what they're selling. But the leopard gonna eat everybody's face.
Yep.
And
I want to jump forward a little bit though to lighten the load.
Yes, let's do that, because
we can talk about I've been watching Queenie on Netflix. Queenie is interesting. It's interesting. Okay. I'm on episode 5. I think there's 8. So it's based on the book. The protagonist is a Black woman. She's in London, and it's interesting. It's the whole, like, people are trying to compare it to Awkward Black Girl. I wouldn't, because it's
just because there's another Black girl. It's like people are so stupid. Everything for a white person, like, is it Insecure? It's like
right.
It's like so stupid. It's like, wow, am I the inferior mind here?
Right. Now the main character she's much younger. She's 25, and like she does make questionable decisions. I am still trying to figure out some things about the character that I don't know if I'm going to get those answers in episode 6, 7, 8, because it's kind of deep. Like so the episode starts with she has this boyfriend, and I guess this is in the trailer where, like, so it's a white man. She goes to his house for dinner, and his grandmother says some wild racist stuff about like, oh, I would love if your babies come out mixed because they look so beautiful. But it's just all this wild anti-Black stuff. Come to find out, she actually the episode opens with her having a miscarriage. So she's at the doctor, had a miscarriage, then has to go to this dinner and be subject to this craziness. So it's a dramedy. There's definitely, I feel like with Insecure, Insecure was a dramedy too in some ways, but definitely leaned more comedy. Right. But this, I question a lot of this girl's decisions. So like after the breakup, I mean, obviously the dinner didn't go well. She told the grandmother where to go and all this stuff. So she breaks up with the guy, and then like, she just goes on this like sex bender, just literally sex after sex after sex after sex after sex with just random men, and it's all white men. And I'm really trying to figure out what that's about. And again, I'm American, so there's stuff that I think about that I'm not sure if a Black British person is how tapped in they are. Like there was a guy that actually even before that, her boyfriend sent her a text before the dinner talking about be on your best behavior. Like, oh, now you know me I'm like, now why the fuck would you text me that? Like as a sister telling me what you're trying to say, right? Like that's
also like you just set yourself up for me to be on my worst behavior.
Exactly. Like that's a very specific microaggression. You cannot tell me otherwise.
Any white guy's dating a Black girl, don't tell her that, and then she'll be on her. But if you tell her that
on her best behavior, now you're gonna get the fool. But yeah, no. So then she like goes on this whole like she's having like sex with white men, and one of her friends in the show actually brings it up and is like, "Why don't like is that all you sleep with?" But they didn't go too deep into it. So I'm curious. There's a lot of things I wonder about it. I don't dislike it. When I was looking at people's comments about it, it seemed like people liked it mostly on Twitter. People who said they read the book, they said they didn't like the whole her dating white men. I can't say I dislike it, but I do think it's weird that it's back to back to back to back. You're just having sex with all these different white men. Like I wonder, like, is there anything there that I should be reading into? Like, is this supposed to speak to her self-hate in the moment, or like, I don't know. I have questions.
Is that part of British culture that is something that's foreign to me?
That's what I'm wondering too. As a black American woman,
I would imagine that would be probably more normal over there.
And even us, we have Caribbean ancestry, right? But when you're from the United States, right? you have a different lens. So the main character is
Right.
Jamaican. I want to point that out. But like
Yeah.
a Jamaican British person is going to be different from a Jamaican
Right.
American person. And then us with roots in the South, you know, I don't know.
That's
I'm
what I'm saying.
curious.
There might, maybe it's more normal for Black women to date outside their race. I'm assuming, but I don't know. And I think for me, that's oftentimes the barrier between myself and British shows in general. It's like there's culturally there's it's like I watch shows from other cultures and they're different enough for me to be like, yeah, that's how they do it over there. Like I could watch a show, it takes place in India. That's how they do it in India. Yeah, that's how they do it in Jamaica. The British culture is close enough to American culture, but far enough from it to where I can't enter it. Like I tend to have more questions. I tend to not be able to get lost in the story because I'd be like, wait, what? So there's something about British culture that I'm not interested in, or it makes me kind of lose it. Like I'd be like, huh, what's happening? And so I think that I haven't watched the show yet, but it's like, I would imagine in watching it, I'd be like, oh, I guess that's how British girlies are. It's
I don't know. I don't hate it. I'm definitely trying to figure it out. Yeah, trying to figure, because it's like I get excited when I see a Black female protagonist, and then it's like when the story unfolds, I'm like, I don't know.
I'm looking for the best web series. At this point, I don't trust the streamers. At this point, I don't trust like I'm looking for the best web series. You feel me? Because it's like they're not doing they unfortunately executives, they can't get past their idea of you. Right. So let's kind of keep repeating the same limited things. And they're going to keep doing that, you know, and they'll have the money to do that. But meanwhile, us down here, we have more interesting things going on. And I think we'll just make more interesting stuff with our phones. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm on that. Like, I've seen the success of certain web series, like even before Issa Rae's Awkward Black Girl. Like, this is after Awkward Black Girl. So years after, there was a series called Money and Violence, and it was basically about like New York City hood shit, and it was so bootleg, girl. When I tell you that, but I was like, I saw the vision. The guy who created it, he wrote everything, he filmed everything, probably on an iPhone. Like, it looked so bootleg. Like, you could tell it was very much an idea that he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna bootstrap it. And he did. He bootstrapped it, then got Jay-Z's attention. Jay-Z became a funder and like managed to come back for a second season and polish it up and all. But my point is, I was invested before it got polished up. I was invested when it was still bootleg because I saw the vision. So that's how that's the way to go. If we got to get these stories out, because what's getting greenlit is just like, y'all thought y'all ate, but I don't know.
They're never eating. They're never eating. And it's because they put their executive brains in front of it. And they kind of, executives, I'll say this, like, if anything, they're just too busy to know what's really going on. They're too busy working to have their ear to the ground. And so they're tone deaf and they miss it every time. And that's why there's so much redundance in what they bring. They're like, oh, well, this worked before. Here's Home Alone 5, you know. Meanwhile, we're out here in the world bored as hell, you know. But it's like, that's why streaming services wanting us to pay more and like having commercials now. I'm like, y'all about to just,
which is crazy, because the allure of streaming services used to be no commercials. Yeah.
I'm like, so now you should be double paid?
If I could just pay for internet and watch good stuff on YouTube, I might. I've done it. Because Money and Violence was on YouTube. That's where it started. It was on YouTube. And Awkward Black Girl started on YouTube. Like, look, I just feel like, you know, there's power in GoFundMe. There's power in Susus. I mean, it's hard to get attention now, the way everything is going. It's really hard to get the collective attention. But I don't know. I'm just starting to feel like the do-it-yourself, struggle through it, just be consistent. That's starting to seem like a better option.
God knows if Mr. Bloom hears that you got some money, he's gonna come for you and take it, like a little mean Jewish lady that doesn't want you to have anything.
The boogeyman.
Why is she getting stuff? You shouldn't go to
fiduciary boogeyman.
I want to go to college. You know, and how amazing is that you could be here in America and do that. Look at the blessing of a place that I created for you, where you can even sue. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should just love me more, because I'm the reason that you're even able to do that. but you don't see that. That's what I'm saying. God brings justice to everybody. That's all I have to say about that. God don't like ugly baby.
Exactly. And to go back to the character in Queenie, like, okay, you know, like I said, I'm not hating it. I'm going to see it through. I do have questions that I don't know can be answered in 3 more episodes. I am kind of tired of the trope of people going through something and looking for whatever that thing is through sex. It's like, come on, can we? And I'm sex positive. I'm not that person that's like anti-sex, but like it's just cliche at this point. Like piling up bodies on search of, you don't even know what you're searching for. Like, can we find something else, please?
So boring. The most boring thing. It's so overdone. And it doesn't really reveal much about the character ultimately. Like,
exactly.
I'd be better off seeing what she ordered in a drive-through.
Exactly.
That would tell me.
There's so much character information I want about her. And being that it's based on the book, I do wonder. I almost want to read the book because I'm wondering if there's stuff that's being left out. But you know that happens. When the books get adapted, they leave a lot out. I don't know. We'll see. But speaking of cool series, though, we got to shout out to Nate Russ Comedy on Instagram.
Yes,
with his bugging series.
We love it.
I'm completely down this rabbit hole. Usually I watch these like sketches and stuff on social media and I'm like, okay, whatever, ha, funny, you know, whatever, keep it moving. I'm anticipating part 15. I think we're on part 15 or we're waiting for part 15 of this series.
I love this. So this is the Buggin' series, y'all. Star just told me about this. Nate Russ, he's giving life to the bugs. And we love it. And I'm going to share with you guys. We're just going to share like one of his clips because so funny. All right. So funny.
Oh, he chasing me. I can take her. I get on my nerves with that thing somebody want to do. Ain't nobody ain't going to do nothing to you. I'm glad you didn't act off your emotion. Y'all both know my motto. If you don't bother me, I ain't gonna bother you. But see, they don't get that. They don't get that though. And B, I gotta tell you, man, I'm so proud of you. I'm glad that you didn't do that. And you know why? I know. Most times when we try to inflict pain on others, ultimately, we end up only hurting ourselves. Especially in your case. A sting for you is fatal. Hey. What's up, y'all? What's up? We right here, man. Why you got to be so loud, huh? But then the little girl running around the park talking about, oh, he chasing me.
Okay.
and there's been this lead up to, so there was one where the mosquitoes came as the uninvited guests. And like, there's been a lead up to, so like the bugs have beef. So the wasp showed up, the wasp and the bee got beef. And then like a moth came, the moth is the butterfly's cousin. And the moth thinks the butterfly thinks he's better than him because he's so pretty. So now the moth and the wasp done teamed up and they're trying to exterminate the other bugs, but the fly on the wall heard the plan, so he went and told the bugs. So they went and got a plan. So the ladybug and the bee and them, they went and got a praying mantis, and that sent me down a whole other rabbit hole. So apparently, praying mantises can eat wasps. That's a whole. I didn't even know that, but so we've been leading up to the Don Dada, which is the spider. So the wasp and the moth, they done tapped into the spider. So that's where we've been hanging. We're trying to see what's going to happen.
Like, once again, brilliant, hits with people. And once again, the internet will tell you it's hitting with people. An executive would have passed this. I need people to understand the people that are making decisions. They don't know they don't know anything. They're too busy trying to run these numbers and they just want to get money. So I don't know. It's an interesting place in the media. It sucks, but I mean, what's going on with Hollywood and.
So I just want to see stuff like that. People being creative.
That's what I'm saying. I love the lightheartedness of this. Yeah. It's so fun. Yeah. It's so silly. It's giving voice to something that we kind of all thought in our minds when we look at these insects. I mean, I love it. Once again, you know, Black genius strikes again on the internet, making it interesting. Look at those Negroes making the internet an interesting place.
Like with the Black Music Month challenge, right?
What is the challenge for this month? What's the Black Music Month?
Shout out to Music Sermon. So this is like the 3rd year she's been doing it. The woman behind it, Naima is her name. And so she just basically creates a prompt every day throughout the month of June, starting June 1st. So it'll be like today's prompt. Today is June 9th. So today's prompt is like songs that embody love. There's another prompt,
Ooh.
songs that you clean your house to. There's on Friday she did like she did a side celebration of Prince's birthday. So like favorite Prince songs, and so it's always like
songs that embody love. I would say for
Yeah.
me, I would say, I mean, there's so many, but D'Angelo's really
many.
love. D'Angelo's really love.
I'm stealing the idea. I'm posted on my IG
And I
because
love
there's
that.
so many. I posted.
It sounds like love. It sounds like spring and flowers.
It really does. It
Honey,
really
it's
does.
like or the instrumentation, the lyrics, the vocalese of it all. D'Angelo's
Yes.
love.
Yes. So
It sounds
I
like
posted Vivi Brown has a song called Vivi Brown is speaking of British, she's a British pop singer. She has a song called I Love You, and it's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Like it's about like just being with the one you love, and like she's singing about like being on a date with them and like walking by the water. It's all very like cliche love, but like her voice makes it so pretty in the music of it, the musicality of it. And then the other one I posted was LTD's Love Ballad, which is another one that's just man. I don't even.
Yeah,
there's a lot of songs you can post, and Dwelle's Subject. All I really needed was a subject.
Or even
Dwelle's yes. There's so many. So yeah, so for the month, Miss Naima, music sermon is her page. She has all these different prompts, and like she's been making it a little bit more interactive. So there's been like quizzes, like she'll post an image full of like Black luminaries and music, and like how many can you guess, and how many can you guess, and like so it's good. It's good.
All right, now we okay, Black people, watch out. That means we have 2 months. That means we have a February.
I know.
Edward Bloom is gonna be like, Black Music Month is
he hawking.
He's like, Black Music Month, what?
There is no such thing as Black music.
Next year, only 11 months in the year. Sorry, June. Had to get rid of you. It was pride.
With the Black Music Month, I thought I wasn't gonna do it after like the first year, because Naima, I met her through like she's a writer, so we teamed up on something, or someone paired us up with a bunch of people. That's how I found out about her. But I did it the first year, and then the second year I was like, oh, it's kind of the same thing. I'm not going to do it, and I ended up doing it just because it's so fun. Even if you like can't think of the millions of songs you've encountered in your life, or like you feel like, oh, this is redundant, but she's been switching it up this year. I appreciate it. I'm still doing it. It's fun to do.
Oh my gosh! In the comments, let us know what's a Black song that makes you think of love.
I love it. Oh, that D'Angelo really love, for real. Oh my god, it's such a good one. There's so many. I
mean, let's D'Angelo Brown Sugar.
Yep.
Oh, sugar, when you're close to me, never right down to it's like, come on, baby. It's like that's the only type of love I'll accept. Okay.
Yep.
Brown Sugar love. Love, really love, D'Angelo type of love. Just mumbling over a musical track type of love.
Eric Roberson got some joints, Raheem Devon got a bunch of joints, but it's like, but then it makes you think about like all the songs you've ever heard. Like you really have to go through the catalog of like there's so many. Marvin Gaye, like what?
So many. I love it. I love it. Well, we're going to round things up. We're going to talk about the French roll hairdo. Y'all, it's coming back. Next time you see these braids, they're going to be in a French roll.
Oh, I would love to see your braids in a French roll. I've been seeing, because like on my Discover page, we follow, we see the hoochie cons and like just the black hair care and all that. And I've been seeing French rolls popping up a lot. And I'm like, listen, if that's going to make a comeback, I'm with it.
Look.
I'm gonna get I wore my hair in the French roll for my wet. I think I did. Or I tried to get it in the French roll. I don't know, but I'm gonna figure out how to get these locks in the French roll.
Look, honey, it is the official hairstyle of women who are standing on business. And I just want to say that if you don't know what a French roll is, people, let me just pull this up for you guys so that you understand when you see a woman in a French roll. Okay.
if it's a black
She's your
woman in a
boss.
French roll with the
She's your boss.
tendrils, she don't play.
She's your boss. She's your boss. She's your boss. She's your boss. She's not. Edward Blum can't stop her. Honey. All this legislation, all this French roll. You see what's back here? What's back here?
Yes.
Brilliant
And
idea.
look at that picture with Kiki with the
Genius
bang on the side.
idea.
Yep.
Genius ideas with a whisk. Look, honey, braid it up because it was so genius. Just all
and all you need is some glitter spray,
honey,
to
look,
top that off.
look. When you see a woman with a French roll coming, I hope you were good. I hope you were a good person. You feel me? So
she bought that life.
I just had to let y'all know the French roll is coming back. Black women are standing on business, regardless of a Bloom or not, because my thing is like, yeah, Bloom will come, he could take us out. Like we're not defended, nobody's protecting us. It is what it is.
We are a hydra.
But the rest of y'all need to be worried.
Chop one head off and 3 more grow back.
Boop, 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 boop.
So
we're not worried, but the rest of the world should be worried because nobody was really coming to help us like anyway with the microgrant. But those of you all that truly needed help and are truly receiving help,
listen,
whoever that might be, I'm gonna act like I don't know who that is.
Change the language. Change the language. This is a scholarship for 4C hair.
Right.
Oh, we can't discriminate based on race. Okay, so 4C hair.
This is a scholarship is only for women with French rolls. It's the Fierce French Roll Society.
So 80% melanin, whatever the percentage of melanin is that we have in our skin, right? We could change the language since you want to use civil rights language.
Which once again, it's like language. Which lets me know that the civil rights movement made you really insecure. Right? It's like it lets me know that these movements made you insecure. And for me, thank you for that. Makes me feel powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like as petty as that might be, it's like you could do all of that, but the fact that civil rights gets under your skin, really? I have a dream today. Let me just say things, to you that just burn you. It's like it's 1940 in America. What you gonna do? What you
starting
gonna do?
To feel like it.
So think twice, think up, remember where you're at. If you see it happen to a Black woman, you could laugh and cajole and feel that it's not going to happen to you. And while you're doing that, it will be happening to you. And it won't even make news. It makes news for me. It's not even going to make news for y'all. And I don't know who the y'all is I'm talking about. I really don't. But it's like whoever else can become a victim of this man, his goal. I know that he spearheaded the affirmative action thing. And now Asian students are still confused as to why they're not getting into Harvard. And it's like, well, y'all gonna have to just stay confused because racism is confusing. So
that's the point.
That's
the gotcha.
So be confused. And I'm not confused though. I know exactly where I live. I know exactly what's going on. And I know that for some reason, my success, when it don't even be success, the idea of my success gives people the bubble guts. And if the idea of me being successful gives you bubble guts, bubble guts, bubble with your guts. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm just out here trying to live like everybody else. But when people are guilty of committing atrocities for generations, and they do stuff like this, and that means that man doesn't know peace. With all those billions of dollars, that man has no peace. I hope not. Well, how could he? He can't. I mean, to go against a fund for Black women when you have so much money, it's like, so clearly money's not making you happy.
That's true.
So like clearly you're miserable
because you have the money to so-called. If it really was about equal chances, you could have just made your own shit.
Right. But there's something about me that so unsettles you, and that's why I love myself even more now than I did a year ago. Because we up here unsettling colonizers' energy just through our existence. And if that ain't a beautiful thing, baby, I don't know what is. I might have said too much. But that's all right, y'all. This is Smart Girl Dumb World. I'm Malika Jules, comedian, writer, recovering female rapper, and of course, my wonderful co-host representing on the East Coast, Star Rock, the author and reluctant journalist. Coming here, y'all know we bucking up against Black girl perfectionism. Heck yeah, we uploading this to Smart Girl Dumb World YouTube. It's episode 9, baby.
Hey.
We're gonna roll in this piece. Like, share, subscribe. You feel me?
Hey.
Hey. That's it, y'all. We out. Hey.
Yeah, we did it.